Get you updated on your COVID-19 news. Some of you have been a little frustrated waiting for your unemployment checks. The state says, please be patient.
We started out with 32 adjudicators, 34 adjudicators, and now with the recent hire of this week, we just started a new class, and I think we've got up to 200 people now working the claims.
Before the pandemic, wait time for a check was 3 weeks. Now they're estimating about 4. Good news, after a record number of applicants earlier this month, the numbers have gone down. In Hall County, though, the number of positive COVID-19 cases has gone up a lot, even more than Douglas County. The governor was asked why a stay-at-home order was not issued.
In our conversations, neither the mayor nor the public health director directly asked me for that. I think that was done through a letter that they had 45 doctors. But in our conversation, it was probably, a week and a half, almost 2 weeks ago now, when we were talking about steps to take, they didn't make that direct ask on it.
Keep in mind, Hall County's population is almost 10 times smaller than Douglas County, but has more cases. Officials say the hospitals in Grand Island are under control with bed count and care. When it comes to the struggle to purchase testing and PPE for healthcare workers, Governor Ricketts said he's more than willing to make those decisions for the state.
I will tell you that my concern is if you turn it all over to the federal government, then states like Nebraska could get lost because we don't have, because of the early steps we took, we are not seeing the same impact as states like New York.
Nebraska has worked to get its own reagents in the testing process, as well as ordering personal protective gear. The aid from the federal government is, for the most part, financial. Some supplies have been sent to Nebraska. However, Governor Ricketts wants to keep the sourcing of gear and products at the state level.
All right, let's get everybody updated on the latest numbers. Nebraska now has 1,066 cases. As you heard Megan talk about, Hall County with the most at 278. Also, 24 deaths. 3 more were reported today. 1 in Douglas County, 2 in Gage County. In Gage County, both were elderly people in an assisted living facility. Also today, we learned 3 new positive cases in Lancaster County.
One of the cases is still under investigation, but 2 have been deemed community acquired.
The community acquired cases are a woman in her 30s and a woman in her 50s. The third case is still under investigation and is an individual also in her 30s.
Now, we're all reminded to keep our guard up. Officials talked about different tips and tricks on how to navigate essential businesses like grocery stores during these trying times.
These are really challenging times for grocery operators. We are incredibly busy. On behalf of all the retailers, I can say we are doing everything we possibly can to keep our associates and our customers safe.
And the tips include limit shopping to once a week if you can, wear a face covering when you're inside there, and only touch the food you are planning to buy. When it comes to COVID-19 testing, some big news from Bryan Health today.
I wanted to share with you, and we talked about this a number of weeks ago, about us having the ability to do testing in-house here at Bryan. We started this yesterday. We started with just 5 cases that we were able to result here, and we will continue that throughout the weeks ahead.
The drive-through clinic they have has the ability to complete 110 tests per day. Currently, they're running about 60 tests a day.
We mentioned we can go up to 110 tests through our drive-through, and we're still about in the 60s range. So if people are feeling there is a need that they go to their physician and get screened, we have the capability of testing other people through our drive-through.
Bryan Health also says it's made good progress with their third-party lab, and they have only 74 pending tests at the moment. Well, taking care of our seniors is extra important during these times. Tabitha Health is looking for your help.
While other companies have been, kind of shutting down, Tabitha's really been gearing up.
Today, Tabitha held a hiring event virtually. This is the second time they've done this. They say it's a great way to meet potential candidates while keeping everyone safe, but that's not the only benefit.
Potentially, we would even make offers the same day as well. So it really can speed up the process and make it simple for candidates. They could have a rewarding new career without ever leaving their house.
Now, Tabitha Health plans to hold more events like this in the future. If you're interested, we have information on our website, klkntv.com. You'll also see on there a new feature called Who's Hiring? It has employers who are looking for workers. So click on the Who's Hiring box, once again, on klkntv.com.
In national news now, a top priority of the White House is getting the country reopened. President Trump today offering new federal guidelines. ABC News has more.
President Trump on Thursday sounding hopeful parts of the country could reopen before the end of the month.
I think 29 states are in that ball game, not for opening, but I think they'll be able to open relatively soon.
But the president also making it clear it'll be up to the states to decide when to lift restrictions.
It also depends on the governors what they want to do.
The White House now unveiling recommendations for states to follow, laying out 3 phases.
We did not put a timeline on any of the phases. We want the governors, with the data that they have, community by community, to be setting up those timelines.
These guidelines coming as New York, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C. extend their shutdowns until at least May 15th.
There's no light switch. It's not all businesses go back tomorrow. It's what businesses, what do they do, what risks do they pose?
This as the Labor Department reports an additional 5.2 million more people filed for unemployment last week, bringing the total number of Americans filing jobless claims in the last month to roughly 22 million. And now the Small Business Administration announcing the Paycheck Protection Program has run out of money. Nick Ponton, who owns a fashion show production company, says he'll have to furlough workers.
I've done my end of the bargain of keeping a small business running and pumping money into the economy and keeping my employee off of unemployment, and the banks have let us down.
The administration is asking Congress for an additional $250 billion to replenish funds, but Democrats are pushing for more money for hospitals and states. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, Washington.
So the president is hopeful some states can reopen soon. We asked Governor Ricketts today his thoughts for Nebraska.
We've got a plan in place till the end of April. We don't plan on changing that. Again, this is the whole, 21 days to stay healthy, stay home, stay connected, our 6 rules. We are going to be sticking with that plan through the end of April.
And Ricketts says, keep in mind, we won't be lifting all guidelines at once, and social distancing will continue